Hello and welcome to the What the Nuck podcast, the podcast for Canucks fans. I'm your host, Roddy, alongside my good friends and co-hosts, Frabby and Gunny. Well, boys, the season is officially wrapped up. The Canucks have played 82 games, and we're not looking at draft lottery odds. We're not like, oh, maybe we can get Bedard if we lose 5 games in a row. We are looking at the NHL playoffs. The Vancouver Canucks will be facing in the first round the Nashville Predators. Let that sink in, boys.
Honestly, it's not gonna feel real till we're right there, towels waving, and like everyone just going off. Like it's been since like October that we've been saying we're making playoffs.
Yep.
I'm still not ready. Like it snuck up on us. You and me have been talking about this. Like it snuck up on us somehow. Like we watched in the last couple of like now we got to do playoffs against Nashville. We can get into like what it is, but Brian, how does it feel just playoffs Canucks hockey?
Well, here's the thing. I think we've been saying every October for the last 5 years we're making playoffs. This is the first time we're it's true, you know.
But this time in November we said we were making playoffs. That's been the change.
Yeah, that's a first. That's a first. No, it's gonna be so exciting. I think it's official now that the series starts on Sunday, and yeah, dude, I can't wait. Oh my god, cancel all your plans, boys. I'm watching I'm there.
They need to release a full schedule so I can make all of my plans. Build my life around that.
Actually, though, yeah, Canucks finished the season, like I said, tonight in Winnipeg. They sat a couple of players in Brock Besser, Ian Cole, JT Miller, and I don't know if I'm forgetting anybody else there. But
there was one more, but I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. This game, I did my things. I was doing errands while it was on. I was like, oh, Garland scored. We now have 5 20-goal scorers on this team, which is pretty special. Second time Garland's done it in his career. But we're not talking about that because it's a brand new season come Sunday for the Vancouver Canucks. And obviously, like we said, that is against the Nashville Predators. Let me tell you guys a little bit about the leading scorers of each team here, okay? So, first, we'll go with the Canucks here. Miller finished the season with 37 goals, 66 assists, and 103 points. He's the first player to get 100 points since 2011. That would have been Daniel Sedin.
That's so wrong.
Wowza.
That is wrong.
First stat, just nailed it.
Sorry. No.
Told you.
First time in his career, yeah. I completely blundered that. On autopilot writing these.
The guy had the stats, notes written out all day.
Regardless. Anyways, Miller hits 100 points for the first time in his career. That's very special. Next we go with Hughes, who finished the season with 92 points. He becomes the highest point, or this 92-point season becomes the highest point total that a Canuck defenseman has ever had. That is an actual stat. All right, you can look that one up.
That's facts.
Yep.
I'm just checking it. Hold on. I'm going to quickly just check to see what Cale Makar did tonight.
90. Finished with 90 points.
90?
Yep. Pettersson is third in scoring with the Canucks, 89 points. This one, honestly, still an amazing season by Pettersson, but I was saying literally halfway through the season, early on, I was like, he's going to be the first Swedish-born player to get back-to-back 100-point seasons.
You were saying that a lot.
Yeah.
I respect that. You really believe in the guy.
But
anyways,
89.
Oh, I said he was going to get 94 this year.
Yeah.
Tough.
Besser, first Canuck to hit 40 goals since the 2011 year with Daniel Sedin and Kessler. He's the 13th forward or player in Canucks history to do so. And Roenick is our 5th scorer, 5 goals, 43 assists, 48 points. Very solid year for Philip Roenick. Those are just the 5 for Vancouver. Shortly after Roenick is Garland with 43 points. Now we'll get into the Nashville Predators here. Their leading scorers are Philip Forsberg. He was absolutely nasty this year. 48 tucks, 94 points. Like that's something else. Followed by their
first season that he hasn't been injured.
Yeah.
He played all 82, goddamn.
Yeah.
Like this guy's known Band-Aid boy.
Mm-hmm.
He just came out 82 games and went off.
No, he did. And yeah, no, it's incredible. Him and his mustache, 94 points. Like that's just unbelievable. Then you go to Yossi, who's their best puck-moving defenseman, with 23 goals for a defenseman. That's insane. 85 points to finish the season. Gustav Nyquist, by the way, no idea that he was this good, or maybe just getting more playing time because he's in Nashville. 23 goals, 75 points.
Yeah, you
There
were
was
Nyquist.
there was an NHL analyst. I don't really remember who it was. Might have been Anson Carter. That guy's always fucking talking out of his ass. But he said he's picking Preds over the Canucks because
course
like
he is.
they don't have Gustav Nyquist. The Canucks though.
the X factor.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
My God. I will say this is, in my opinion, their X factor. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But Ryan O'Reilly finished the season with 26 goals, 69 points. And Gunny, I'll let you read this last stat line here because he's your favorite player. You're Wayne Gretzky.
It's just the guy that we should all be worried about. Tommy Novak finished the season with 45 points, 18 goals, 27 assists. I didn't have that open. That's right. That's locked in. All right.
That's
No, I had that. I had that. I had to load it up. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
Not that insane.
That's so mid. I'm not even gonna lie.
But yeah, so those are the leading scores for these teams this season. The Canucks swept the season series versus the Predators 3-0. Yeah, I want to start with you here, Gunny. What are your key factors for the Canucks to win and be successful within this matchup against Nashville?
I hate saying this because like we've all been saying we gotta face Nashville, like we want to skip LA and Vegas.
Yep.
Be the better team as we've done all year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the consistency model. That's going to be the whole thing. You can let some lucky ones in and stuff like that, but the team's got to be consistent. Every game's got to be 60 minutes. Every single game's got to be the boys going off. You can't just have every single line popping off, but we're going to need pretty much everyone on their A game. I actually do think Nashville, while we've been saying I want Nashville, I think they're a sneaky good team. Better than people have given them credit for.
Definitely.
Because some people call them just streaky. They just think that one 20-game run was just lucky and the rest was, which is like, come on. But I think the Canucks are a better team and they just have to show it.
They're like 4-4-1 in their last 9. So they're in the same boat as us.
Yeah, but it's playoffs
hockey.
now.
Yeah, it's
I don't care about
500
the last
hockey
10
once
going.
you've basically clinched like a playoff spot. Like it makes sense.
Brand new season.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brand new season. Everybody starts 0-0-0.
Yeah. I don't think like obviously like we all wanted Nashville. I don't think it's disrespectful to Nashville, the reason that we wanted them. I don't think it's because I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna wipe the floor with them. But just like I think like stylistically, like it's a better matchup for Vancouver. Like LA, we've seen smother the Canucks all year long. Vegas, all they do, especially when playoffs come, they just hit, and they're big team that can score. I think when you compare the rosters for Nashville and Vancouver, which is like two teams that can put the puck in the net, maybe not the biggest of teams, but they do have some heavy hitters on the back end. Like I think just stylistically, it was the most ideal matchup for Vancouver, especially with this core to get their toes wet. Because at the end of the day, technically they still haven't made playoffs. I know we can count the bubble, but Rick Tocchet says he doesn't count that as playoffs. So, you know, like it's going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a really fun matchup. And, you know, you got two of the best goalies, two of the best defensemen. It's going to, yeah, I'm excited for this, dude. I'm so giddy.
This guy's a little giddy, actually. I like it.
No, to what you're saying, Prabby, this is, yeah, I like obviously, like I wanted Nashville as well over the other teams, like you said too. Stylistically too, this is just a great matchup. You have a great goalie battle in Saros and Demko. You have two of the best defensemen in the league, in Hughes and Forsberg.
You're just repeating what I said.
No, I know.
Yo, Did you say that we have two of the best defensemen, as in Hughes and Forsberg?
No, I said, yeah, anyways, whatever.
Is that what you just said?
He said that. We can rewind the tape.
Yeah, rewind the
Hughes
tape.
and Yossi.
Replay. Anyways, Hughes and Yossi, yeah. And then, yeah, I don't know. They have Philip Forsberg. That's like their elite forward. We have JT Miller, Elias Pettersson. The top 6 part of this matchup, I think Vancouver definitely outmatches them.
Yeah,
you have the likes of Ryan O'Reilly, who will probably play a big role for Nashville. Very smart hockey player. He could shut down lines. I always bring this up as a memory, but in the bubble playoffs, that guy stick lifted, I think it was Alex Ether, like 17 times in the offensive zone on the boards. And I'm like, who is this man? Like, he's actually a psychopath. He's a monster in the playoffs. He knows what he's doing. So he's probably going to be in a matchup role against either Miller and Besser's line or Pettersson's line. Regardless, though, he's only one man, and that's where Vancouver has the advantage. If you're going to shut down the Miller line, this is where we need to see Pettersson's game get to the next level. You know, he's still been playing. He's been playing better as of late. He's not getting as many points as fans would like, obviously, and I think that's where people are complaining a little bit because he's not shooting as much.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, the biggest X factor in this series, if he's not getting shut down, is Elias Pettersson. I think him and Lindholm are going to play huge factors in Vancouver winning this series.
It's interesting you bring up if they're shutting down Besser and Miller, other teams. So you think that teams are going to be aiming for those two then?
Yes, because I think Miller's.
You think that's the top line? Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's believable, but it's just like that's our first line, I guess. And then Pettersson with whatever wingers we decide to give him.
Whoever has been on Miller and Besser's line this season has done well. When McKayev was in his slump, even when he wasn't scoring, they put him on Miller and Besser's line. All of a sudden, he became Wayne Gretzky. So, Pettersson. This is like a big talking point. I think. I think Pettersson is playing good hockey, but I think now, because I don't think he'll get that matchup, it'll give him a little bit of leeway and the advantage to do some damage here. You know, it's playoffs. You got playoffs. He wanted a competitive hockey team. He has a competitive hockey team. Now's your chance to do it. Go out and get somebody.
I think, honestly, are we doing X Factors right now? Is that
your player
thing? Can I just pick a line? Like, there's one line that I feel like is about to go crazy against Nashville.
Go for it.
Lindholm, Joshua, and Garland. I think that line is going to do so good because I feel like that's the matchup line right now. They're going to be going out against potentially like Forsberg and the boys. But I just love, obviously we saw what Bluger did with those two earlier in the year, but I love having Lindholm there. And I think like Lindholm's due to just burst out of whatever funk he was in. And I think, dude, he got 2 points today? He had a goal and an assist. Like, I think that line is going to be absolute magic in the first round against the Preds. Though that's my X factor. I'm picking 3.
The whole line. That's fair enough, honestly.
Whole line.
Either any one of those players individually, specifically Joshua and Garland, could be considered X factor. Just the way they play, they're going to be absolute dogs in the playoffs. I'm going nice and easy with this X factor. It's JT Miller. The guy's built for playoffs. It seems like his style. I think he's the first player since Ovi to get 100 points and over 200 hits. Like the guy does it all, and he's ready to play. And he's been animated for the past 4 or 5 years with us, man. And this is without live fans in an arena going off for playoffs. Like this guy's gonna be electric. I'll just make the comparison right now because all this. We've made the Kessler comparison so many times. Like this could be his series where he just dominates, and I think I would choose him easily as my X factor.
Yeah.
Did you see Kessler's interview on Donnie and Dolly today?
I did.
No, I didn't see it, but I just saw it. I just saw that he was on. That's why it was in my mind.
He brought up the JT Miller like Ryan Kessler comparisons. He's like, yeah, like I hear you guys say. He's like, and I see it. And then he said like Miller's a better player than I was though, which you can make a case for that on the offensive side. Defensively, nothing. You're not getting close to. Yeah, you're not getting
40 goal Selke winner. Yeah, that's a little. I like him just pumping up the Canucks, man.
But he was saying he was making some comparisons between the 2011 team and this team, and he was just saying that because I think he's from Michigan, and he was talking about Detroit, and he said Detroit doesn't have any guys that'll go to the dirty areas when times get tough, when like they need to get there or when they need to win, right? He said the 2011 team, we had guys that could finesse, and then we had guys that would just go in front of the net, take the beatings, and lay the beatings and all that. And he said like the 2024 team is like that too. They have guys that'll take it to the net, get just absolutely hacked and whacked, and then just dish it right back. And he said like he sees a lot of comparisons between the two teams. And then he basically said that he's all in for the Canucks, and he's still a Canuck. And I was like, okay, I don't want to cry today, bro. Like, stop.
No, I think you guys are right with all those X factors and who's gonna shine. We didn't even mention him because I just know he will. Like he's like an automatic X factor. Quinn
Yeah.
Hughes, man. Like it's not even he's
The
just gonna
reason
be there.
the reason I didn't bring him up or I didn't choose him is because of like the cancellation of like Hughes and Yossi.
Yeah, fair.
But I completely agree. I think both of them are going to be absolutely dynamic for their teams,
Mhm.
but they both have the ability to shut each other down. So it's going to be nice to see other guys come in, because like Forsberg can only shut down maybe one other guy, like be on par with him. Ryan O'Reilly can maybe shut down one other guy,
When you say
So
shut down, you mean like be on par? Like he's gonna be
yeah,
matching
yeah,
him
yeah, not like shut down, but like
5v5. Yeah,
I like that
yeah,
on
yeah,
par with him. Yeah, I get
yeah,
that.
on par. That's a better word. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very true. We'll have to see who is the best defenseman coming out of this series, I suppose. The one thing, actually, same thing on Donnie and Dolly today. They had Ray Ferraro on, and he was just like talking up Quinn Hughes, talking about how he's the most nimble skater in the league, in his opinion, which I completely agree. Like this guy's an absolute ballerina on skates. Like, this is we didn't really talk about this for like a key factor for Vancouver to be successful. The power play is getting better. There is more movement on the power play, but they have
Yeah.
to capitalize now, right? Like there's not
Yeah.
a lot of power plays come playoff time. They let the boys play. So when you get your chances, that movement, I want it to still stay there. I want it to be consistent, but we got to get some goals. And like I said, Pedersen being my X factor, I want to see him shoot a little bit more on the power play and not be as selective on his shots.
No, I want to see Miller keep bombing him.
Oh
I
yeah.
love when he shoots on the power play. I was looking at NHL Edge. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've ever seen the 50 commercials game they throw
Oh
out for
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
The only stat I remember from that because I like the JT Miller, just looking at random Canucks, is he's from his spot on the left side there. And this is 5v5 and power play. He's like 38% shooting from there. It's
That's
a
insane.
wild.
Well,
Like
the
obviously it's
goal.
because he picks his spot, and like sometimes
Yeah.
when he comes up with speed, like that thing's almost guaranteed to go in. But
Look
I
no
just want to see
further
him
than
shoot way
Tuesday
more.
against Markstrom. He fucking sniped it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was an absolute bullet, man. No, I'm really excited. And yeah, I think, yeah, guys like JT Miller are built for this moment. And we haven't even mentioned him yet as far as the depth line, as far as like Prabby did, but Dakota Joshua,
Oh,
even
yeah, man.
Phil from the Beerly Hockey Podcast, he was like messaging us being like, that guy's built for playoff hockey, which I
Oh
completely
yeah.
Hell
agree.
yeah.
He's going to
Good
be
old
a
Ohio
monster.
alumni there, right?
Yeah, dude. I think Miller, Joshua, like a guy like Sam Lafferty too. Like
Mhm.
just the speed
Oh,
and the net drive and just like, he's
Prabby.
down. All right.
let's just talk about everyone.
Oh,
13
stop.
forward PDG when he sneaks his way into the lineup. All right, it's a depth
Oh.
piece. Guys coming in
Um,
hot.
but no, you can't argue that like Sam Lafferty's not like a playoff type player. He hits, he's fast. I didn't realize before we got him, I didn't realize how fast he was.
Yeah.
That guy's quick, man.
The
It's
power
gonna
move on the
be
guy too.
yeah, that little cut. I think he scored like probably like 3 goals this year doing that.
I feel like we're just gonna
Anyways,
keep talking about Canucks players. What about Pods?
He inked a 2-year deal today. 1
Yeah,
mil per. Congratulations.
I was getting there. You interrupted me.
yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
know. I just wanted to say something.
No, I
Get
get, I
you
get it.
teed up for your boy Pod calls, and that's all yours.
I think he's got to score a goddamn goal.
Still on that for I don't even think he has to score a goal. I think he just
No.
has to be full of energy. He's that young guy, right?
Yeah, no,
Him and
no.
Hoglander, right? And
Finish
Hoglander's been doing it all year.
every check. Hit everybody.
Facts.
Anything that moves.
Facts.
UC
Until he
Saros,
takes
you're dead.
5 in a game. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. That's until
He's
he
gonna
takes
be the
5 in a
Darcy
game.
Hordichuk, just running the goalie.
Yeah. Giving a little bit of perspective here. We're talking a lot about Canuck players, and this is a Canuck podcast, but we've got to talk about the opponent a little bit here. This is kind of what I was saying, though, as far as the depth goes. So on per daily faceoff here, this is Nashville's first line. Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, Gustav Nyquist, right?
Gustav.
That's a good line. Like that's a scary line to face, and if the Canucks get mismatched, if we got Sam Lafferty's line out there with McKayev, they might get dogged by that, but we have home ice advantage for a
Wait,
reason. That's why
Did you say O'Reilly's the center?
Yeah, O'Reilly's the center in that.
Yeah, see, like that's like a legitimate first line.
Yeah, no,
Read the
100%.
second line.
This is
Yeah,
where
that's where
yeah,
it gets. That's where
this,
it gets.
this is where I'm getting to, boys. This is the second line center for them after Ryan O'Reilly, Colton Sissons, who's still a good centerman.
No,
But
he's
this is like the equivalent of like Boston center depth right now, right? With Pavel Zacha. And who's the other guy for their center?
Don't
Charlie Coyle.
ever
Yeah,
disrespect
Charlie Coyle, yeah.
Pavel Zacha and Charlie Coyle. Those guys
I
are
will.
belligerent. Those guys
No,
are
no, no.
so good at hockey.
They're actually not. They're terrible from a
Are
fantasy
you
team.
kidding me?
No, terrible fantasy players.
Says
So
who?
anyways, says me, I owned them.
I picked up
Didn't do it.
Pavel Zacha, and that guy did nothing but wonders for me.
Yeah, I had
like
it for
3
4
weeks.
months.
Yeah, well,
Okay,
that's
I
just
don't wanna
because you
talk
suck
about
at drafting.
Oh yeah, okay.
doesn't know how to get the most out of his players.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bad
Wait,
coach.
did
You're a
you
bad
make
GM.
playoffs this year? I can't remember. Refresh my memory.
I did not. Did you
Yeah.
win playoffs? Technically, we both didn't win, so I don't know what you're flexing here.
I won though. Might as well mention that.
Shut up. That's the
Not in
other
that
league.
league.
You guys can't start talking about the fantasy without me mentioning that I won.
You wanted the dog shit league.
Anyway,
Have fun doing the pancake challenge next year, you loser.
I'll trade all my picks. So I don't have to do a pancake challenge. I don't care.
Yeah, and then we have a couple of ex-Canucks coming our way too,
Oh.
with Luke Shen and Anthony
That one
Beauvillier.
hurts. That one I'm okay with.
I'll say
Now,
his name.
I believe I asked this last time, but I have to ask it again. Who finishes with more points in this series? Ilya Mikheyev or Anthony Beauvillier?
Ilya
Mikheyev.
Mikheyev.
Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down.
Mikheyev, someone's passing to like the front of the net, hits his skate, hits the goalie, and someone gets a rebound. He gets 1 point, and Beauvillier gets scratched. Is my best bet. I have no belief in that guy.
My best bet is Mikheyev is going to drop it. Hughes is going to skate up with it, do like 6 laps, pass it to Pettersson, and Pettersson's going to score. And it's going to be Ilya Mikheyev's second assist.
I just saw that
that's my
Beauvillier's holding my boy Tommy Novak down on the third line there. No wonder he only finished with that many points. Like, how is he supposed to do anything with that anchor on his line? You're talking about their center depth? Toss him up there. Colton Sissons above him? Honestly, we got to start wondering if the coaching in Nashville doesn't know what they're doing.
Who is their coach?
Vermette, I believe. Antoine Vermette.
The former player? What?
Yeah. Wait, no.
Andrew Burnett.
Andrew
Andrew.
I think I butchered names. This guy just went for something
It's a
similar.
fair mix-up. Honestly, it's a fair mix-up.
No, I know. That's why I was
He
thinking.
said it was so much. I was gonna say Andrew Burnett, but this guy said it was so much confidence, and then as soon as you doubted him, I was like, "Yeah, wait, I'm gonna jump in here."
I was like, Antoine Vermette, is that the guy that used to like play for like the Rangers or something like that? That seems like the Rangers.
Coyotes as well.
That guy was a slut, just everywhere.
On that note, we should start talking about goaltending. Honestly, at some point.
Yes.
There's something that worries me on Nashville. It's that he hasn't had
the
best season, but playoffs. As a great man once said, it's 0-0-0 going in. The great man was Drydy 15 minutes ago, but I just find Saros a scary, scary goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's one of those goaltenders that can win you a series. I won't even say he's going to win them this series, but he's the one that gives me the most worry.
Yeah. I agree.
Is that just fair? Is that like the one player? Like Philip Forsberg, like it's just I just don't think he's enough to carry a series, but goaltenders always are.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in the playoffs, the most random of goalies will just get hot. Like Sergei Bobrovsky completely revived his career last year just by getting hot in the playoffs. So I honestly, he scares me to the point because everybody's seen what he's done and what he's done in playoffs, especially, and we're all making fun of Nashville for not trading him. They're so smart. Barry Trotz, honestly, as a management guy, great management guy.
Huge props to the guy.
Yeah, like he didn't trade him, and I think he might have seen what this team was capable of, and now, you're sitting here and you're like, wow, we made playoffs, and like you get 4 extra games for your team. That's 4 games you weren't playing.
Wow.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. But no, I think UC Saros versus Demko is. I think that's probably one of the better goaltending matchups in the first round.
Definitely.
Right.
I have a stat per JPAT here on UC Saros.
Oh.
No
JPAT's
NHL
never
goalie
wrong.
has appeared in more games or made more starts. 64 for UC Saros. He also faced the most shots and made the most saves in the league. With that heavy workload, he also allowed the second most goals in the league. So just that alone right there, we talk about overworking goalies all the time. Demko had the knee injury. Obviously, he went down. He was off for 5 weeks, I believe it was. They have worked Saros like a dog. And I know he's still going to be a great goaltender. But my God, boys, if there's any fatigue on any man in this series, Saros might be a little tucked, okay? He's obviously still going to give it his all, but
I expect
not
him to
gonna
be on
work.
a fucking ventilator by game 3. There's no shot. 65 games?
64, yeah.
Might as
No,
well
it's fine.
count it up to 65. 65 games? You know Kevin Lankinen letting 5 goals in one of them, and Saros had to come in.
No, I think they let him suffer at that point. I don't think they put Saros in.
And this is
Here's the
where
thing.
Vancouver has that advantage too, right? Like, you know, people were dogging on DeSmith, and, you know, people were also like a little bit rude to Shelovs at some points too, including myself a little bit.
People, as in he's not talking about us. We're the people. Like,
yeah,
I was
honestly.
never rude to Seahawks.
I wasn't, but
You
I
were
just
rude to D. Smith.
I was defending
I
DeSmith.
cooked
But
DeSmith.
anyways,
I
DeSmith,
publicly apologized to him on Twitter, so it's all good now. He accepted.
DeSmith and Shelovs did their duty. You know what I mean? Like, they played their games, they played full 60s, they got us the wins that we needed to be first in the Pacific Division, right? Demko, I don't know how many games he's finished off with there, but he finished the season with 35 wins, and I believe it was under 60 starts.
35 wins, 13 losses, 2 overtime. He's played 50 games.
Yeah, so that's
perfect.
Demko should be fresh going in and getting his last 2 tune-up games against Calgary and Winnipeg. You know, you could see him working off a little bit of the rust for sure, but I'm fully confident going into this series with Demko. I think we have a little bit of an edge there, and it's no slight to UC Saros. I just think Nashville, to get to where they are, had to play him a bunch of games.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not putting, if I have UC Saros there who wants to play, I'm not going to put Lankinen in the net.
No, of course not. But
yeah, I just honestly completely out of nowhere take. They're going to start game 4 with Yaroslav Askarov. Desperation play. Try to get him in. Yeah. There you go. Huh?
Something awful would have to happen for that.
I'm not giving any reasoning, any logic. I've said my piece. All right. If it doesn't happen, lost to the history books. All right. Happens.
Jeez.
Hey. Then it'll be a big take by me.
All right. I think by game 4, Nikita Tolopilo will be making his NHL debut.
That's a good take. Take.
Yeah, the other defenseman I wanted to talk about, this is the other guy that was sitting tonight, actually, Philip Bronick. What do you guys think his impact's going to be on this series? He's had an overall really good season. The second half of the season compared to the first half obviously wasn't as good. And there's just been a few plays as of lately with Philip Bronick. Not that I'm worried about it, but he's a little bit slower getting to pucks. Like, a lot of teams seem to be like honing in on him and like finishing their check on Roenick going into like when they dump it in. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Roenick's scared, but there's a couple of times he like shies away from that hit and it causes turnovers. It actually caused a turnover in the game before the Oilers game. Mm-hmm. He couldn't get it out and they scored. So I just want to know what you guys' thoughts are on Philip Bronick going into this series.
I think it's coasting season. Like, you can't put anything by it, man. They already clinched. It was basically confirmed they were going to win the division. If he's going to coast for the last couple of weeks, especially with the heavy minutes he's been playing all year, I'm okay with it. As long as it's one of those habits that he like cuts out. Like I saw a clip on Twitter that Mark Friedman blocked a shot today, or even like J-Pat was saying, like, do you think the Canucks, like, do you think Rick Tockett's saying to the boys on the penalty kill, like, hey, no blocking shots, let that through, right?
Let Mark do it. Right?
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
No, well, Mark Friedman blocked when he stayed on the ground, and I was like, oh my god, Akito Hirose is going to be in our starting lineup. But I think it's just you got to let them coast. Like, they've definitely earned it. And if it was something that we were seeing all year, or
that's
if it was something, if it was something in like there was one play against Edmonton that was pretty bad, but like the last thing you want is Philip Hronek to get hurt.
Of course.
Would you say he's the third best defenseman in this series?
Yeah.
You would?
He's our second best defenseman, and then who's Nashville got?
McDonough's having a great season this year.
I still rather have Hronek.
It's probably Hronek is probably at closest McDonough.
Dante Fabro, like there's an argument too.
I don't know Nashville's defenseman well enough, honestly.
No,
I even have big boys. Oh,
Luke Shen and Jeremy Lazon are
yeah. I was gonna say that's one problem we're gonna have is those two are absolute machines when it comes to hitting. Like the guy finished with 386 hits. That's not like, come on.
Here's the thing, right? But it's, if you think about it, so we have Joshua Miller on the forward side, and then defensively, Zadorov, Susi, and Myers. This is the first time that we've, like, if last year's team was playing this Nashville team, I'd be terrified, bro. Our defense, like our decor last year, could not throw a hit to save their life. And we got the X factor, or I'll call him the Z factor more than anything, Noah Juleson. All right? So if he needs to come in, that guy is going to score a goal. I would, honestly, I'd cry if Noah Juleson scored a goal. Anyways, I'm just rambling on at this point, but no, I think well, yeah, just Jeremy Lazon, Luke Shen, Tyler Myers, Zadorov, Susi. Like, there's a lot of like big boy hockey that's going to be played in this series, and I'm glad for the first time in forever that we're like, we can actually hold our own against it.
Yeah, by design too.
Yeah,
there's a reason that we picked up all these players that could actually play big. It's because we're going to need that, and I think the National League will be a good tune-up ready for the playoffs. I'm not counting them out, but I do really think this is a good matchup for us.
Yeah. I think so too. Like, to the matchups, you know what? Honestly, I think Prabby's right with the like Vancouver kind of petering out in the second half here, being clinched up, and they're just kind of like playing the waiting game. Obviously, this is the first time in the playoffs. I don't want them to play like that because they haven't earned anything yet, right?
Yeah,
they've earned a good season, but like go out there and finish strong here and perform good in the playoffs, right? But realistically, even if we drew LA, I know they had like our number this year. I think we could take them in the playoffs. Like I actually,
the Canucks could. I couldn't. I can't watch that. I can't watch that for my first playoff series and like this long. It's just ridiculous. You can't be watching 1-3-1 hockey. And it's Edmonton that's dealing with it, right? It's official.
Yep. Vegas copped out. They didn't want the smoke, so they let the Ducks beat them.
Vegas choked. Oh my god.
They didn't choke. They threw that game. You know what?
To play the Stars?
Huh? Yeah, they didn't want Edmonton, man.
That's crazy that they chose the Stars over.
I don't think they chose anything.
Did you guys see what Anson Carter said yesterday?
No. What did he say? He sounds like he has dumb takes. So
this guy is just watching Anson Carter daily. No disrespect, man. That guy made the Sedins. Don't forget.
No, listen to this. Listen to this. They asked him, because I was watching the Stars Blues game. Stars go to overtime and they clinched the West. And they ask him, are the Stars the team to beat in the West? As Edmonton is down like 5-2 to Arizona, he goes, I would still give the edge to Edmonton, but like maybe Edmonton's my 1B team behind the Stars. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, they're getting mollywopped at Mullet Arena right now.
They were going to lose that game. That's a scheduled loss.
Yeah, that one's...
What about today's
That was just for the boys. Batman doing it just to get the...
They did. But like, that's the last game in Mullet for the forever.
No, but the fact that he's putting Edmonton on the same tier as Dallas is a joke.
No, I agree.
That's ridiculous.
Dallas has 8 20 goal scorers. The depth is insane there.
They have the depth, but I don't know. We can. I'll get to it when we get to the. Are we going to do playoff prediction? Do you want to do predictions for this series?
Yes, we do need to do a prediction for this series.
Who do you got winning it, Righty?
Well, boys, I agree with what Gunny said earlier on. I think Nashville's no slouch. We wanted Nashville. Nashville wanted us. Apparently, according to Irfan Gafar, everybody wants Vancouver because we're not proven in the playoffs and people think we're going to, you know, when the pressure hits us, we're going to collapse. I like that. Put that chip on your shoulder. People have been doubting us since the start of the regular season. They thought our 3 wins versus the Oilers at the start were, you know, flukes, and they thought the PDO was going to stop.
Yeah.
You know, they thought the PDO was going to stop. It kept going. This PDO machine is strong with the boys, okay?
That thing dropped, brother.
It dropped.
Have you seen it?
Like,
Did you see what they finished with?
No.
It was like 101.
There's no,
something like
no, it was 102. I think it was second to Boston.
Yeah, I believe it is.
And that was because PDO adds up shooting percentage and save percentage.
That's
and we had the boys playing for a little while. So, come on.
We're scoring like 1 goal a game. And DeSmith was letting in like 4. Like it was not good. No, anyways, fine. I'm sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead.
Right, you're good. You're good. But yeah, no. Like I said, I think Vancouver just edges out Nashville as far as the depth is concerned, especially in the top 6 after Forsberg. And dude, I'm reading this bottom 6 for Nashville. They got Jason Zucker's on the second line. That guy's a 4th liner, 3rd liner. That's insane. Anthony Beauvillier.
Where's Kiefer Sherwood?
The 4th line, buddy.
Guy's a gamer.
Anyways, I just
by
think
the way,
Vancouver
him and Cole Smith, I think both have over 200 hits as well. They got some big boys that are ready to play.
Like Cole Smith or Craig Smith?
Cole Smith. I seriously thought it's not Craig Smith. He plays on a different team.
Craig Smith? He might be retired, low-key. There was a Craig Smith. Anyways,
Cole Smith.
Vancouver in 5, boys.
You know what, Draddy? I'm not even going to switch mines. Exactly the same. Vancouver in 5. Nashville wins.
Hey, me too.
Is my best guess. Okay.
Me too.
Wow.
That's anticlimactic.
3 best friends just hanging out on a pod.
Okay.
The Canucks win in 5.
Since we got through that quickly, are we any point predictions for the boys? We'll do the big 5. Besser, Hughes. Is Big 4 or 5? Besser, Hughes.
Yeah, but how many numbers are you
Miller
throwing out here?
Yeah, just do top point producer for the Canucks in the series. I think don't do 5.
Okay. I'm gonna switch off my X Factor lines. I'm gonna go JT.
Straight up, I think stole my X Factor. Just crazy. Yeah. Literally wild.
Drafting him. I'm gonna go JT. I'm gonna say, 4 goals, 4 assists.
All right. Same here. JT Miller, because I'm not going to switch off my X Factor and get disrespected like that. 3 goals, 6 assists.
Ooh, I'll raise you 5 goals, 4 assists, bud.
All right, relax. Grady wants to say that Mikheyev's going to be the X Factor. Right?
Quinn Hughes, 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points.
Oh,
5 games.
Yep, guy's going to run it up. He's going to run it up, boys.
I was like, this guy's gonna say something absurd, and then you said 2 goals, and I was like, oh wow, he's like keeping it modest. 10 assists.
Yeah, he's going mollywop him. Vancouver has home ice advantage, man. When Kiefer Sherwood or whatever the hell his name is on the ice, you know Rick Talk is going to be putting out JT and Hughes and all those guys.
Like, he's going to be putting out Hughes the whole time regardless.
Yeah,
he's gets his minute of rest and 2 minutes of ice time. They didn't even get to rest game 82. They still threw that knockout.
The only reason I'm bringing up Kiefer Sherwood is in one of the games this year, and he had an absolute 1T against us. It was like 93 miles an hour, top left. Demmer had no chance. Also, I don't know if you guys saw, but the playoff schedule, so they said April 21st, 23rd. Do you want me to read out the whole thing?
Sure.
Okay, so the screenshot I have of Patrick Johnston, he said April 21st, 23rd, 26th, 28th, 30th, 2nd, and then 3rd. Now, apparently, I think it was Patrick Johnston again that I read a little bit earlier, that May 3rd game, so which would be game 7 if needs be, is instead of May 3rd, they're looking at May 5th. So apparently there's some 2-day event going or something going on in Rogers Arena on like May 4th and 6th. It's the same thing, but it's just like a little break in between. So they're going to, when they I think it's some sort of concert, but the concert's going to happen on May 4th. And then they're going to apparently tear everything down, re-put the ice on the ground for May 5th for the Canucks to play, and then tear all that down and re-put up like the concert stuff for May 6th.
Yeah, I
So it
believe
just
it's
seems
Pearl
like
Jam.
Pearl Jam. That's what it is. But yeah, so I'm happy about that because, man, game 6 to game 7 with that travel would have been brutal.
Yeah, well, back-to-backs in playoff hockey is the dumbest thing ever. They've
Yeah.
done it a few times. They did it for the bubble year against Vegas. Game 6 and 7 were back-to-back. That's just horrid scheduling.
I mean, they kind of had to on that one, though.
No, just don't do it. It should never be allowed. Playoff
Well,
hockey should always have every second day or 2 days if need be. I think it's absolutely ludicrous that you could do back-to-backs, or that they even think that they can do back-to-backs.
this guy just doesn't want the players to see their families.
I just want to. The schedule makers just have such a hard job, Brady. I've told you this multiple times. I need you to get off
Is
their
your
back.
dad a fucking schedule maker or something? Like, what's
Man,
going
they're
on?
all our fathers.
You're
They're the
beating the
unsung
same
heroes
horse
of the
every fucking
NHL.
week. Oh
I don't
my
get why
God.
we're always just saying make a better schedule. You think they want back-to-backs in the playoffs?
Gumby, there's less teams. Figure it out.
They're trying, man.
Gunveer, they want to add more teams to this league, but they can't even figure out the ones they have
That's
in the league.
Bettman, man. The schedule makers are like, please, no more. And Bettman just keeps adding these dog water teams in. And Pearl Jam has to play in Vancouver. So what can they really do?
No, they're doing right. They're making sure
Yeah.
game 6 and 7 isn't on a back-to-back.
And
I think
Brady's
Tim
still blaming
McGraw's
me.
in Nashville on like March 24th or something.
You guys know all these concerts.
Because there was reasoning for why the Canucks couldn't play, or it was March 24th or 25th, why the Canucks couldn't play on the 25th in Nashville.
All right,
Tim
fair
McGraw.
enough. Ready, get us back on track. We're talking about Tim McGraw.
Yep. Okay. Let's move on to the other series. Unless you guys have anything more to say about Nashville versus Vancouver here.
Nothing I can think of.
Great series, battle of the two of the best color schemes in the show.
Yeah, actually aesthetically pleasing. Yes, blue and yellow. Honestly,
hate that.
They should.
I love the yellow that Nashville uses. It's so nice. It's such a nice yellow.
People were actually tweeting about a tradition that Nashville does. So they like, because it's called Smashville, they make like a Canuck car or like whatever team they're facing and they smash it. Pretty cool tradition, honestly. I'm looking forward to seeing that part. And like the games are going to be exciting within Nashville too. We're going to have to hear that their fans are wild too. Like, if Demko lets a goal in Nashville, his name is getting taunted and chanted the whole day.
Yeah, that's one thing I was reading on Twitter is people saying that Vancouver needs to figure out a way, like the fans need to figure out a way to combat that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
I'll be at my house. Sorrows.
Tweeting it out to the guy.
You suck. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Like, I'll be sitting here.
Shorthouse is like, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Looks like it's in Kelowna.
It's me hacking into the Sportsnet broadcast.
Yeah. All right. Well, boys, do you guys want to do the Western Conference here first? Because we already did the one Western Conference matchup there.
Sure.
See, I am down.
Alrighty. Well, as it stands now, so the Kings won in overtime. That means that they will be. That's crazy, actually, because they were up 3-1. Regardless, though, that means that they're playing the Oilers. Edmonton versus the Los Angeles Kings. And this is the third time in a row that they're going to be playing each other. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? Like, Kings went out there, they tried to improve. They went to go get PLD, and they said goodbye to Velarde and Iafallo. Looks like to be one of the worst decisions of all time. So
PLD.
It's up there with the OEL deal. I'll say that.
$8.5 million for that guy.
He does not care. You put him in LA, man. He's just vibing now.
So yeah, we'll start with Gunny here. What do you think about this matchup? I'm pretty excited to see this one. I know my dad is too, because he absolutely hates the Oilers.
People complain a lot about the format, just like every team facing each other like, again and again. But like, come on, third time in a row, like it's pretty electric. I assume Ev's tearing his hair out. Like this, he does not want this. Like it's gonna be awful. I'm just going strictly off plot and story. I think LA finally overcomes Edmonton. I think that 1-3-1. There's a reason that we were so scared of it. Like there's a bit of logic there. Like, man, it is so horrendous to play against. Stuart Skinner just let in 5 as well, like real quick.
Why did they play Stuart Skinner game 82?
They're gonna go Picard game 1, I've heard. I believe in LA more. I just think something happens. I think game 7 too. I think it'd be such a close series. And game 7, LA takes it, finally beats Edmonton after 3 years.
Brabby, what do you got?
Same boat. Game 7. I'm taking the LA Kings, man. I think Edmonton I think just with the year Edmonton's had, I feel like they might be a little bit more in their heads than they usually are. And that LA team, like, yeah, they're annoying to play against and all that, but like, man, that's a pretty solid hockey team. And I just don't think Edmonton has like the defense that's going to be able to keep up with the Kings. And so yeah, I'm rooting for your dad's team. Let him know.
He'll be hearing this.
Yeah, he listens to the bot.
Yeah,
shout out Eric, all right? Go Kings, go for that one series.
Yeah, I gotta say, for the Oilers, as we all know, it's cup or bust, right? Like, yeah. So they have McDavid. You know, he gets 100 assists this year, becomes the 4th player to do so. That's incredible. You have Draisaitl, who's an absolute monster in the playoffs. These two guys are a two-headed monster. I think they're doing the same thing that Vancouver was doing and coasting a little bit because they had the matchup. They knew what they were going into. Either way, if they got Vegas or LA, they knew it was going to be a battle. They're going to have their heads down. They're going to have home ice advantage, and Edmonton is going to be ready for the LA Kings. That being said, Kings in 6. They have Kopitar, Doughty. I don't know, man. You know what I think is going to happen, actually, game by game quickly here? I think the Kings are going to stun the Edmonton fans. I think they're going to take both in Edmonton. I think Edmonton's going to sneak one out on the road. And I think the end of this is going to be LA home game 6, and they're going to close it out.
Wow.
Watch. Keep your eyes open for Kevin Fiala.
I thought you were going to go with Edmonton, and then you're going to get a text from your dad saying, like, I'm putting you up for adoption.
No, I just, Canucks, it took them 3 seasons to beat the Blackhawks. I'm kind of going off of vibes on that. This is like the Kings monster. Again, they prepared for this. Who knows? Maybe Dubois has been coasting the whole year because he's preparing for this. He's going to Mark Stone their ass.
I don't know. I feel like people have been saying that his whole career. Like, he just doesn't like Columbus. He just doesn't like Winnipeg. Just going, he's just waiting for playoffs. Like, if you're telling me one player, like, we always talk about playoff performers. If you want one player, I don't think it's a playoff performer, PLV.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a performer. He's just there.
I think he finds the next level, but it's a level down. I think he just can look even more invisible.
And quickly, too, I didn't even mention his name, but Philip Deneau is an absolute shutdown specialist.
We can't be shouting out Philip Deneau if we want this to be less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Fair enough. My apologies.
I do like the guy, though. Like, go-to pickup on LA.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, and Quentin Byfield. My God, that kid's gonna be a rock star. Yeah. Okay. Let's
Final piece, Edmonton. Edmonton just doesn't scare me as much as they did in previous years. I feel like there's something stinky about that team, and I can't quite put my finger on it. That's about it.
Fair enough. All right, on to the Western Conference winners. The Dallas Stars will be facing the Vegas Golden Knights. Looked like Vegas didn't want the smoke with Edmonton, so they chose to face off against a absolute monster in Dallas. Yeah. Krabby, we'll go with you at the start of this one. What are your thoughts on this series, and who do you think's going to come out on top?
Stars in 4. Mark Stone comes back game 4. It's not enough.
That guy's suiting up game 1.
Yeah, honestly.
No, he is. I'm pretty sure it's guaranteed. Like, I don't think that. I think they genuinely, like, not even conspiracy. I think they do this shit on purpose.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'll go, like, legitimately. I'll probably go Stars in. I'm gonna go Stars in 5.
Really? Not a lot of belief in Vegas.
No, not really. I think Anthony Mantha was an absolute wasted pickup, and just it's no disrespect to Vegas too much. I think it's just that Stars team is so sick. Like, they're so good, and I really believe in that team. I'm not gonna they're my pick for this year to do the thing. If it's not going to be Vancouver, it's going to be Dallas.
There's no do the thing teams. Not when we're in the playoffs.
One.
There's literally, if we're out of the playoffs, I'm gonna cry and not care.
Okay, but I'm taking Stars in 5.
All right,
Right,
Gunny.
you look like you were in pain there. You go first.
Just the Mantha take is absolute dog water there, Krabby.
What do you
He's
mean?
talking about Anthony Mantha's #1 fan out here, righty.
I'm not saying Anthony Mantha is going to be a complete X factor for them, but like he's a power forward. He's a bit of a beast. Like, don't disrespect him.
That guy
Anyways,
was so bad in every single game I watched him play this year after he got traded there.
oh, so you're a big Mantha fan.
Guys honed into Vegas games.
I'm a big hockey fan.
Anyways,
What? Okay. Power forward, right? How many points and hits does Anthony Mantha have this year?
I don't know.
Why would he know that? Why does he?
But then, where's the whole? He's a power forward. Fucking thing.
He's a big
Jock
guy.
Does he wear?
What do you
tell us
want
right
from
now
me?
if you're a real fan.
What's that,
dude?
Say it again.
Just ask you what size jockstrap he wears. It's the only way to really tell if you're a real fan of Anthony Mantha.
Big.
Okay.
Anyways, I just think, Mark Stone, Undertaker music's gonna play. He's gonna get up there, do his thing. Dallas Stars are the equivalent of what the Carolina Hurricanes are to the East, I believe, without Gensel. I don't know. There's something about that team. Like they're so deep, but for some reason I'm just not convinced on them. I think it's going to be a long series. It's going to be an absolute war. But I think Vegas squeaks this one out in 7.
Ooh.
I'm going to just agree with you that I'll just jump on. So I think Vegas in 6. I think they're Stanley Cup champions. That's not always all you need. But if there's one team that hasn't been taking the regular season seriously and goes straight for playoffs and legitimately cheats, like full on cheats to do the best in the playoffs, they're going to have 10 million over the cap. I have no clue. But there's a reason this team, this isn't a team that I think just coasts and like they had a bad regular season because they stepped off. I think they do this stuff on purpose. I think they go straight for playoffs. Obviously a little closer than they would have liked. With all the injuries, I don't think they actually lacerated Mark Stone's spleen, but they definitely do some shady business.
For sure.
Isn't that like a 6-month recovery?
I can't be a medical doctor out here.
I
I can give my incredibly uneducated opinion on it, but I just think Vegas is born. There's no one on Dallas that really scares me.
I agree.
They do have a lot of depth. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking once at the defenseman points. I don't even know how Thomas Harley. That guy's just been an absolute monster. There's just no one on Dallas that's scaring me. That's like, man, they can take this on. Well, Vegas, man, they've been Vegas for so long.
They picked up Tomas Hertl, Noah Hannafin, and Pietrangelo is going to be coming back. Mark Stone, they're just scary to me. I think exactly what you're saying. The year that Tampa Bay, it was like, Kucherov, take on the golf courses and come back in the playoffs. That's what they did. That's what they're doing.
Every year.
Wholeheartedly agree on that. Last West matchup that we have here is the Winnipeg Jets, who actually finished above the standings on Vancouver. Obviously not in the division, obviously, but they're going to be facing the Colorado Avalanche here. This time we'll go with Gunny. McKinnon finishes the season with 140 points. Absolute monster. Rantanen by his side, followed by Makar. Who do you have in this series?
This is probably the closest one for me. I won't say no answer, but this is close to me. I can see it going either way too. And I'm not saying it's game 7 close. I can see one team sweeping the other. I genuinely have no idea on this series who can do it. There's Hellebuck, then there's McKinnon though. Those two just scare me. How Winnipeg's done with Kyle Connor, Mark. I'm just gonna list off. I can just list off players, but I honestly have no clue. I want to say Winnipeg in 7 though. I believe in that team this year. Well, I believed in them last year actually, and they got smoked. But this year, I really believe in them.
Yeah, they look different this year. I'm gonna go Jets in 6. That's it. I have nothing else to.
I don't know why this series I got nothing to say. Even though I know Winnipeg pretty well because that's the team I actually follow, but I just can't point to anything other than Hellebuck really. But I just.
Well, you saying that you could see either team getting swept, honestly, I agree. They're both so evenly matched up. And just Hellebuck's insane. Colorado doesn't really have anything that can match that. But then again, if Nathan McKinnon catches fire alongside like Makar, Winnipeg's cooked. And
yeah, that's the whole thing.
It's going to be a fun series. Any series with McKinnon is always going to be a fun series to watch. But yeah, I'll go Jets in 6.
You know, every series, like maybe outside the Vancouver Nashville one, these teams are just big-bodied teams. Like all the Western Conference series are going to be bloodbaths, and this one is just. This one's a terrifying series to look at. That being said, boys, have you guys watched McKinnon this year? When that guy gets his shoulders up and his head down and he skates faster than the goddamn speed of light, it's a goal every time. This guy's a cheat code in the NHL. They loaded up with Casey Middlestat. They got Nichushkin back. Rantanen's firing on all cylinders. This team is... I think it's going to be a lot closer, like what you guys are saying. I think it's a really tough matchup, but I just think the Avs are gonna roll here, and I think I got the Avs in 6.
I think their goaltending is going to give out because their goaltending is not very good to like start off with, man.
That's where McKinnon comes in. He just outscores the problems.
Yeah, if there's like as much as we.
That's basically what we're saying is McKinnon catches fire though. It's
like I don't even call it catching fire. McKinnon plays like McKinnon.
Playing.
That's the whole thing. Like his normal state could just win a series for a team. Like he is that level of like when I talk about Philip Forsberg can't win a series for you, it's because it's very hard for one player to win a series for you.
This guy
but
can.
McKinnon can win a series for you. That guy's nuts. Like seriously. But Winnipeg in 7 still.
My heart wants the Jets, boys. Nothing gets me more fired up. But when the Canucks are in the playoffs, Winnipeg's whiteout is so cool. Like it's actually such a cool building to watch, and when they cheer, they're loud. It's electric in there. So I'm excited for that series. I think it's going to be great. Over to the Eastern Conference here, boys. We're going to start with
this one's going to have some taste.
Battle of Florida here. We got the Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida took the season series 2-1. Oh my God, they destroyed them on February 17th, 9-2 in Tampa Bay. But Gunny, what are your thoughts on this series? This is going to be another heavy hitter series.
Yeah, it's Kucherov first. I gotta shout out his season. We're gonna shout out McKinnon's.
Yeah.
Guy's been nasty with it. I still believe in Florida more though. I don't know. Like Tampa really feels like a team they're over the hill now. I'd say, like they're still Tampa Bay, but they're in what did they finish in the
wild card?
They finished wild card, right? Though sometimes it was scary where they looked like they were going to make it. Last year they lost to Toronto of all teams. Like, come on. I think they're over the hill. I think Florida still like I think that regular season that they had, and then they had that run. I think that regular season was just a fluke, and like this is Florida, and they're a scary goddamn team, especially when Bob's on his top game. Even without Bob on his team, it's scary. But when he's there, I'll go Florida in 5.
Wow, Prabby?
Honestly, I want to say Florida in 4. Yeah, I don't have any sweeps. That's the only sweep I have. I'll go Florida sweeps Tampa. Like really puts them, and like you know what? Crazy talk. Stamkos doesn't even get signed unless he's already signed. I haven't been following that.
Yeah, he's not signed yet. You're good.
I'm taking Tampa Bay in 7. We're going Tampa Bay in 7. I do think the over the hill comment. I feel like Tampa still has a chip on their shoulder because not everybody, not everybody, but like everybody has been saying that now since they got eliminated by Toronto. Is Tampa's done? They're cooked. Like they're over the hill and stuff. And I just think that I think with guys like Kucherov and a guy like Stamkos who had a 40-goal season, the biggest what
side are you on?
He's
popping off right now.
You have Kucherov, you have Stamkos, you have Point, you have Hagel. That's not even bringing up Hedman. And I think the biggest X factor for me in this series is going to be Andrei Vasilevsky. I think Vasilevsky's about to go to playoff Vasilevsky, and I think he's going to do just belligerent numbers. And I think it's going to be a tight series all the way through. And I think Tampa's eventually going to get like a 2-1 win in Game 7 or something like that.
Belligerent is such a rock star word, by the way.
I love it so much.
The way
right here, bro.
the way you implemented it there was just perfect, buddy. That was you basically said all the talking points that I believe. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Come playoff time here, for some reason, I'm just going off of vibes here. Bobrovsky, you're off the case, buddy. It's Vasilevsky's time once again. He's coming off hot, like he's playing good. Kucherov, an absolute menace. I have to go with the same reasoning that I have with Colorado. Like you just can't doubt this guy. Braden Point, ever heard of him?
I love Braden Point. Right, you know, don't ever say that to me.
I know. I will say the one guy that like can really sway this. Two guys and just out of from the last cup run they had. Matthew Tkachuk is going to be an ass in this series, and it's going to be really fun to watch. And Gudas too. You know, you gotta. Or no, Gudas on Anaheim. What am I saying?
Yeah.
See ya. Anyways, no. I don't know.
Oliver Ekman Larson. There you go. That's a defenseman you wanted to bring up.
Ekman, scary.
Okay, you go first.
I was just gonna say, I have a weird feeling. I feel a lot of people are just doubting Tampa Bay and throwing them to the wayside and think they're dog water. I got Tampa in 5. Yeah,
Tampa in 5.
Yep,
5.
Right, let me read you out this
crazy.
Top 6. Barkov, Tarasenko, Reinhart, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Tkachuk.
Yep,
that's their top 6, Stridey.
Ooh,
like seriously, a Selke winner. Tkachuk, who's finally found his game in the second half. Sam Reinhart, wow. Like, Prabby can tell you, that guy's been an absolute monster.
Yeah, cookie monster.
That top 6 is not getting beaten 5. I'll bet this series if you want, easily.
This is just my one.
Are you okay with my take? Lightning in 7? Like, is that one of those?
Yeah. But,
like that one
5?
I think I agree with
I guess I did just say a sweep, but like, disrespect.
I know I'm gonna disrespect.
Unless you think if you just believe Bob's gonna collapse and like
I think Bob's gonna falter. That's my big thing. I think Vasilevsky's been playing really good down the stretch here, and this is a team that's done it. They know how to do it.
Yeah,
Florida went on the one deep run for sure, but I just I don't know. You're doubting Stamkos, Kucherov, Point, Hedman,
Tkachuk,
like these guys.
Barkov, Reinhart, Tarasenko,
not even close.
Even close.
Have the Panthers?
Sorry, I forgot to mention Nick Paul. Whoops. Yeah, just
have the Panthers?
I'll say Antoine Lundell if we're saying Nick Paul. Like,
have the Panthers ever beaten the Lightning in the playoffs? I just don't think it's happened.
Think so.
Right? I think it's a mental game, and I think the Lightning, once again, chip on their shoulder. People are going to say they're washed and they don't deserve it. All that. I think they're going to use it as fuel. And honestly, I'm hoping for a big series from Tanner Jeannot. I'm hoping we get to see rookie Tanner Jeannot. All right, that's what I want.
I'm actually last year. Come on.
Yeah. So
Florida, after I believed in them in the first round, went all the way to the Cup Finals. What more do you need?
So
the Gunt.
You didn't believe in them. You didn't believe in them. I was going to let it slide.
Yeah, you would let that slide. Was shocking to me.
No, but I do think I'm actually. I hope Tanner Jeannot has a good first round for them. Dude, think about what you saw for rookie Tanner Jeannot. 20+ goal scorer, blazed the body, was a fighter. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, good. We're talking way too much about Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah, I didn't let this guy talk about Philip Deneau, but you're allowed to talk about rookie Tanner Jeannot.
I just said Deneau was a good player. I wasn't going.
Yeah, no, and I said Donnie, it was fair, but I was like, we can't talk that much in depth.
My final thing is going to be Tanner Jeannot's going to have a big series.
Season, like,
yeah,
Tanner Jeannot's going to have a big series, and that's it. That's
X Factor, buddy. X Factor. Moving on to another very highly anticipated series. The Boston Bruins versus the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Should I do a series for all of us?
Yeah, sure, man.
It's Boston Game 7 overtime. Like, it's easy. It's not even a good story because it's obvious, but they just get out. They haven't won in the second round yet.
They swept them this season series too, Boston.
Yeah, it's like if a team's ever had a boogeyman, like it's hilarious. They're facing Boston.
The Leafs.
I'm not even gonna name play. I didn't even think about any of the players. Anything else? This storyline writes itself.
The Leafs haven't beat the Bruins in the playoffs since 1959.
What? A real year.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That was 1959 because I was watching Steve Dangle video. 1959 was also the year that the photocopier was first introduced to the
Wow, this
world.
guy's learning with
Little
us.
fun fact.
Yeah,
Crazy.
this one there's nothing
So
for me to say other than
what's
that.
the prediction, buddy? Give me a number.
Me?
He doesn't want to.
Oh shit. Sorry. Yeah, I'll go Bruins in 7. Bruins in 7. And honestly, here's the thing, right? Bruins in 7. David Pasternak. Let's say 16 points. I think Pasternak's but a num num num. Num num
Wow,
num.
okay. So
16 points. I like that.
my take with Mr. Quinn Hughes getting 12, and that's not heinous.
12
Crazy.
and 5, 16 and 7, I guess.
16 and 7 is basically the same thing.
And it's also it's fine.
Anyways, okay, so Boston swept them, boys. I don't know. This is the only thing. Marchand is a little bit older, okay? They don't have the center depth that they've had in years past with Krejci and Bergeron, right? Toronto's goaltending, super suspect, and that might just kill them. But they bulked up, boys. They got Max Domi. They got Tyler Bertuzzi. You know, Matthews is scoring at a crazy clip. They got Mitch Marner, John Tavares. Like, I think their top 6 is better. They just have never performed to their level come playoff time. But I think these guys that they got for the run that they're going to try to attempt to go on here, I think the Leafs can squeak this one out. I think it'll be very close. I could also see Boston destroying them, like you said. But I'm going to go Leafs in 7 on this one.
I don't believe in their goaltending.
I know that's the one
I don't
thing.
believe in it. Also, I don't believe in their defense core either.
I feel like it's weird to say I don't believe in. Like, there's nothing to believe in there. There's nothing they've shown to like. It's not like I don't believe like Bobrovsky's gonna hold that in playoffs. Like that's something you could kind of say like but like you can't really say I don't believe in Samsonov because he's like all season he hasn't given you any.
He's had a really good run at the end of the season here. I think he was like 18-3-1. Those numbers are off by like 2 or something. But
that's pretty crazy. Not gonna lie, maybe he does give you something to believe in.
Yeah, so I'm just going off of like the top 6, and I just think Leafs are obviously the younger team up there, and they have to learn at some point, man. Like they did last year, and they beat Tampa Bay.
It's the
That's their
funnest part
boogeyman.
about hockey. They don't.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, that's my take. I got Leafs.
Wait, what was your
What
was your prediction?
Leafs in 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling, man.
So the Bruins are gonna automatically win now. I just want to put that out
there. I'm gonna have a good playoff prediction around
we
this.
Should have made him have to say that Nashville is gonna win.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move over to the
boring series.
The Metro, yeah. The New York Rangers versus the Washington Capitals.
Probably you're gonna go crazy.
Probably, what do you got here, buddy? Give it
Rangers
to me.
in fucking 3, man. That's the worst series. Did you guys see their goal differential? It's like minus 40.
It's hilarious.
Minus 37. They're improving.
Minus 37. It's like the third worst like goal differential for a team making the playoffs. And the other one was some random team. And then the other one was fucking some Canucks team from the 80s that was a minus 72 and made the playoffs.
The boys.
Yeah, dude. I'm just gonna go Rangers in 4. Whatever.
Fair.
Get me out of here.
I wanted to say Rangers in 5, but I clearly can't imagine Washington winning a game. I don't know. Rangers in 4. I think they play quick at some point to rest their goaltender, like Igor. I really don't believe in Washington. Washington maybe forfeits. I have no clue.
Yeah, let me just read out these point getters for the Rangers. Panarin 120 points, Trocheck 77, Kreider 75, Fox 73, Zibanejad 72. That's insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moving on over to Washington, we have Dylan Strome 67, Ovechkin 65, Carlson 52, and then it drops to Tom Wilson, who's at 35 points. This series is, it's an absolute joke. I can't believe Washington got in the way they did. they're gonna like the Rangers are gonna score 56 on them. Washington's gonna be like minus 40 goal differential, and they're somehow gonna win the fucking series, boys. Washington knows how to clamp down, boys. They know how to clamp down. Look at the season series between these two. It went 2-2. It wasn't the Rangers just destroying them. Ovechkin, he's found new life in the second half of the season here. He's up to 31 goals, or he got 31 goals on the season. That's incredible. I'm going with my heart here just because I love Ovi and fuck the Rangers. Okay. Washington in 6.
I'm changing my prediction. Washington doesn't score a goal.
Okay. Disrespect them. See what happens.
I just want to move on to the worst series of the first
I don't know
round.
why we finished with this one. This is
Well, we got Carolina Hurricanes versus the New York Islanders. Take it away, Gunny. What do you think on this one?
I think it was Carolina versus Islanders last year, wasn't it?
I believe so, actually. Yeah.
Because I think I said Islanders in 6. They disappointed me.
It was last year, yeah.
But that's the whole thing. No one's mentioned it. No one's had a thing. That's what because I saw it on maybe Sportsnet or maybe one of the panels. They were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, Carolina versus Islanders, and no one mentioned that they played last year because no one cared. Like, this is such a boring series to me because I just don't like either team. Well, I like Carolina, but like Gensel's pretty sick, honestly. That pickup there makes Carolina scary.
Freddie
I wish
Anderson.
they were playing a better team than the Islanders. Oh yeah, Freddie Anderson, dear goodness gracious.
You think Toronto misses that guy?
I don't know what they put in his blood, but I'm spooked out now. All right, Carolina is a very, very scary team. I think Islanders are just a very Islanders team. They've been doing the same thing for 5-6 years now. I think Carolina in 5-6. I don't really have much to say about the series though.
Brabby?
I'll go Carolina in 5. It's everything Gunny said.
Okay. Ditto. No, I got this is my only sweep. Carolina in 4. I just don't think like Islanders have the guns in Barzell and Horvat, and they're fun to watch, but Dobson, Sorokin's had a pretty off year this year.
Dobson hurt too. I'm pretty sure
Is
Dobson. I think he might be. He got a pretty gruesome fucking hit in
Carolina
one of the
in
last
3
games.
Yeah, this series is just like I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to it either, but it is nice that Carolina actually has like I know they have superstars in Aho and like Svech, but Gensel's like him. Gensel's the guy.
Yeah,
like he's been scoring at a crazy pace. I think it'll make Carolina games a lot more exciting, and the fans have something to cheer about. Because out of the East, I think this team's a monster, and I think this is like the year where I could see Carolina going to the Cup final.
They'll be facing off against a very scary Canuck team, so it'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
That series is honestly so boring. I want to also mention the Rangers versus Washington.
Yeah.
Jacob Trouba versus Tom Wilson.
Oof.
Yeah. Ooh.
Noah Dobson hasn't played like the last 3 games because he took a pretty gross hit.
Yeah, you never know. They're always going to play game 1 usually, unless it's like real bad.
Well, did you see the hit?
No. Who hit him?
I don't know, but it should have been a penalty, and it wasn't. It was pretty bad.
I'll take a gander after the pod at it.
Yeah, well, those are all the playoff series. We should we'll say our predictions on Twitter, and we'll see who wins out of it. I'm assuming I'll have a pretty bad bracket after the Washington guess, but hey, Brabby bet on Florida last year and it worked.
That's 2 different situations. Florida wasn't a minus 37 for goal differential.
That's true. That is true. Florida also doesn't have Ovechkin. Anyways, though,
Ovechkin. I want you to compare the 2 teams. You're like, okay, they have Ovechkin, right? That's it. That Florida team that I picked had Barkov, Reinhart, Verhaeghe.
Brabby, it's complete.
Now you're juicing up that team.
Me?
Now you're juicing up Florida, but this year you're not believing in them.
Okay.
No, I think there's something about just being.
We'll do this after the pod. I can yell at you more. Daddy wants to get finished here.
Well, let's just to recap here. The Vancouver Canucks are going to be playing playoff hockey in Rogers Arena for the first time since 2015. That is incredibly exciting. They're going to be facing off against the Nashville Predators. Home ice advantage, all the works. Everybody's healthy. That's very huge. Obviously, like we said, couple of the guys took the day off today for the last game of the season. Miller's going to be a monster. Hughes is going to be a monster. This is going to be such exciting hockey to watch, boys, and I can't wait to watch and interact with you guys on Twitter, Instagram, and the like. You guys got anything else to say?
I had a question for you.
Yep.
Do you think it was a bad move by Tocchet to sit Besser when he was so close to getting the Rocket Richard?
God, I love you. I love you. I think that was a terrible move, and he should be fired for that.
Perfect.
But yeah, that's going to do it for this pod here. You could follow our channels, our Instagram and X or Twitter at What the Nuck Pod, and our YouTube channel and TikTok at What the Nuck. This has been the What the Nuck podcast, coming at you with a playoff preview. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you on Sunday.